Star Wars, of course, came out 1977, I believe. Huge international hit, one of the biggest hits of all time. Rocket suit, a superstardom. And then shortly afterwards, a Christmas special came out that was produced by George Lucas. And I thought I'd just ask you about it. No, you don't remember it?
No, none whatsoever.
No memory of it at all.
No,
so it doesn't exist in your...
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No.
What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now? What if I were to roll that piece of tape? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't feel... I don't know. I've never seen it. Maybe it'll be nice. Go ahead. Roll it.
You are being very, very naughty.
Naughty this! Carpet Day!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night, and I am Scott.
I'm Joe.
And today we have a special guest with us, Jared.
Hello.
Yeah, our friend Jared.
He likes to watch trash.
Yeah.
Trash is good.
Which reminds me, Jared, do you know what today is?
I think it's Life Day. I think.
It's talking trash time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's talking trash. Yes, this is the show where we review, spoil, debate, crap on, and give second chances to the hated, the lowest rated, the much debated, and often forgotten flicks on the internet, all while asking the question, is this the worst movie ever made? And if... Is it the worst movie ever made? And if not...
It's one of the worst movies ever made.
We ask ourselves, what is? Because here on the show, we truly believe you can't review film unless you know what the worst is. And today we are talking Life Day. We're here, this is the end of the year for us. We're hitting the end of the year. This is our special to end all specials. This is Christmas, New Year's, everything. We're saying goodbye to 2024 with a bang. Because we watched what I consider to be one of the worst movies ever made. But we can talk about it as we get along on this thing. Because today, before there was Disney, before Jar Jar, before terrible CGI ruined a bunch of classics, there was a TV movie event where the head writer admitted to using heavy amounts of cocaine during production. Where an actor called it a turd. The lead actress telling people that she put it on at parties when she wanted people to leave. And the creator of the franchise tried to buy every single copy he could find in the hopes of making people never see it ever again. He actually said if he had the time and a sledgehammer, he would track down every bootlegged copy and smash it. We are talking about 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special. It has a 2.2 on IMDb out of 10 from 17,000 reviewers. It cost $1 million to make. At least $500,000 of that was for the cocaine on set.
Maybe that was a haze over the film.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
It was blowing everywhere. Blowing.
It was written by Bruce Valanche, a.k.a. the center left square on Hollywood Squares.
Blows my mind.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Oh, wow! Look, honey, it's Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Bruce Valanche.
I'm not Bruce Valanche.
Oh, what are you supposed to be? Oh, right, you're supposed to be that,
The Incredible.
Right, the incredible Chaz Bono.
Yeah, for those old enough anyways, that's what it was. It was also written by Pat Profitt, the monster behind the onslaught of terrible 2000 spoof films. Yeah. And it was also co-written, although he wants everybody to believe he has nothing to do with this, George Lucas. You're not getting out of this one, buddy. You're not getting out of this one today.
Yeah,
Nope.
this is your.
I'm bringing
this
you
your
up.
Shit.
Yeah, he actually forced Bruce Valanche into making this about the Wookiees.
Yeah.
He refused. Bruce Valanche said it's going to be a nightmare. It should not be about them. And he refused and said it has to be a part of them. They have to be in this. No subtitles, no overdubbing.
So what you're saying is this is the first time we actually see him ruining his own franchise.
Oof.
right?
Well, this is the second thing in the entire franchise.
Oh, okay, okay. So this is like the start of it. So from here on out, he single-handedly ruins his own franchise.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this out here, guys, okay? He wanted the Wookiee family to be a part of the franchise going forward.
Okay, well, I don't want to look at that old man anymore.
Yes.
He looks like a Yeti. Like a deranged, like messed up, psychotic Yeti. And he's gross to look at.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it as we go along. There's some little more fun facts here. This movie was directed by Steve Binder. You know him as the Elvis comeback special person. He directed that. He's the... But don't worry, guys. If you're worried about his career after this, he directed the Christmas special for Nick at Night. So don't worry about that, guys. He went on to bigger and better things.
Wow.
Yeah. Other greats who worked on this film, Stan Winston, Rob Bottin of The Thing, Vern Langdon of The Planet of the Apes.
Oh, man.
Yep. Costume designer Bob Mackey. Set designer Garrett Lewis. He did Glory and Misery. Artist Ralph McQuarrie. Yeah, he's the concept artist for all the plane, the ships, and everything. He's the guy who made all the amazing things in this movie, these series of movies, anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, these people all worked on this thing.
I mean, I feel like the ones who worked on Star Wars, like, A New Hope, I feel like they're stuck in this. That's it. They had no choice. Like if the bearded turd wanted you in it, to be involved in it, you had to.
Hence the $500,000 of cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had to pay them somehow.
That was the draw.
Well, yeah, the odd thing here about this is that he gave them a Bible, a Wookiee Bible, okay, and then walked away. So he said to them, this is what I want. It has to be a part of this movie. Wookiee family here's a Bible about Wookiees. And then he walked away and left them all to figure it out.
I mean,
and that's why Bruce Valanche said he was doing a lot of cocaine to figure this out.
Wow.
I mean, it shows. Everybody who was involved in this movie was on copious amounts of drugs.
Yeah, just a couple more fun facts before we talk about this film I have to bring up. This is the first time James Earl Jones was credited as the voice of Darth Vader.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
This is also the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that I know. I always wondered where he came in, and when there he is. Oh my God.
Harrison Ford, when asked on a red carpet if he would do another Christmas special, he said, "I'd rather kill myself."
If you were to do a new Star Wars holiday special tied to The Force Awakens, what would you want to see in it? Say it into them.
I'd kill myself.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, there's some fun facts, and we could talk about the others as we go along in this movie. But, those are some incredible start-off facts about this turd. And you know what I love is that this is free on YouTube. Okay, because I think a lot of people don't really understand that this exists, and only cult movie fans or bad movie enthusiasts like us know about it. But I would say that you definitely need to hunt this thing down so you can understand what George Lucas's Star Wars was going to be until other people took it over. Okay, because I know everybody out there thinks Disney ruined Star Wars. No. Okay, I'm just going to say this is what we almost had instead of, if it wasn't for Lawrence Kasdan and some people like that stepping on board, or his wife at the time editing, we would have had this kind of debacle going forward.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad when you think about it, when you break it down. And that's why I suggest everybody see this, because this is his nightmare. This is what he thinks was a good idea.
It's disturbing. I mean, people are on that hill, like, defending George Lucas. I mean, I get it. He created these characters, and this is his baby. But if you let him loose with a script, he's just going to destroy it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm glad you brought that up, because here's one of my favorite fun facts that I found out about this movie. This Chewie family was in one of his original drafts of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And so he gave them that in the Wookiee Bible.
I mean, I like the Wookiees. Okay, great, super. But these three turds in this family, I cannot.
It's just like it's so maddening. But I wanted to bring up that this is free on YouTube. The first comment under the YouTube video that we watched was, even Disney won't copyright strike this thing because that would mean they have to admit this exists and they own it.
That's true. So that's probably why the person who put it up on YouTube is free to do whatever, because
no one has taken it down in 7 years.
I mean, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to be like, oh, I'm defending this. It's my baby. No, we don't want anything to do with that at all.
It's kind of amazing.
So it also makes you wonder, how many people did you happen to see how many people watch this?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because
we can find that out.
I'm wondering at some point when the person started getting monetized on this. Would they actually make money?
Do you think that they monetized?
I don't know if they would, but I mean,
437,000 people have seen it, but at least 3 or 4 of those are me.
Yeah, it's on your account.
This is our second viewing of this goddamn shit. And I gotta tell you, watching it again, I think that I was maybe in some sort of haze because I don't remember any of this. I think I just blocked it out of my life. And having to watch it again, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing on the screen.
What I love is that we mentioned that we were going to do this as and the reason I wanted to do this was because there's been 5 movies sitting on our list of the worst we've done on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's time that we knock those movies off the list. And there's one movie in particular that definitely goes in the first spot. And I would say, this is the one. And when we said that out loud, Jared was near us and he goes, oh, I'm coming over for that. And that is the 437 other thousand people that saw this, that many, watched this movie. That's this group right here. I mean, literally people like us exist out there. But that's a small majority. That's not a million. You know what I mean? So, like I said, not many people have seen this.
I mean, well, there's people out there that are, like you said, like complete nerds, like movie nerds, like bad movie enthusiasts, like Red Letter Media and stuff like that. But I can't imagine a genuine Star Wars fan, like a diehard, like our other friend Jared, that's gets the freaking Darth Vader costume, and he's
not this
like,
Jared.
My other Jared. We have 2 Jareds, and he's like a diehard. You can't tell him nothing. But I don't. Has he ever even seen this?
I doubt it.
Because I feel like he would find a way to defend this, no matter what.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that possible?
I don't think you can.
I don't think so either. I mean, Lucas, it's one of those times that when he actually wants it to be erased, and he struggled to get rid of this, and it still couldn't get rid of it. The Masters still exist.
I mean, fucking own it, dude. Own it. Because he's the one that had everything to do with this.
That's the thing, right? I mean...
Didn't he think Jar Jar Binks was a great idea? Isn't that him?
He said that Jar Jar, if it doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. So that was a huge thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Jar Jar was... those clips of that, it's incredible.
Jar Jar is a key to all this. If we get Jar Jar working, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had in any of the movies.
This is why the guy needs a script doctor. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in the franchise, Carrie Fisher was writing dialogue.
Ooh.
He was helping write dialogue because... And also his wife was an editor, and people came in on his original New Hope script, and they saw the original film that he was making, and it was bad. So they kept telling him to change it. Darth Vader's voice was different. I think C-3PO talked. I mean, R2-D2 talked, I think. I think he was cursing or something. What? There was all these things that had to change. And there were people who were saying, don't do that, do this. And the editor, his wife came in and fixed that film. And I think that's what I know this is a hot take. We're talking Star Wars, so we're going to piss off anybody anyways. And you know what?
Blow it out your ass.
Me and Joe already talked about how we're doing a month of just pissing everybody off and admitting the things that we hate that everybody seems to love. And I'm sure I really want to do Phantom Menace on there. But Phantom Menace is an example of when he's let loose. And I know people love it because, it's the one what they grew up on.
Right.
It's like the first Star Wars for them, and I get it, but goddamn, it's awful. Sorry, I mean, I just can't. And it's just like you said, Jar Jar Binks and all these characters. It's like they don't work, and I think his dialogue doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if he wanted a whole movie about Wookiees making noises, I mean, can you? I mean,
No, I couldn't sit through that.
So-
I could barely get through this, and this is the second time.
So then what's worse, Jar Jar Binks or the Wookiee language?
I will take Jar Jar Binks. I think.
Yeah, same.
I like Chewie.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, I love Chewie. I grew up on Chewie, and I think he's fun. But when you tell me his family members are lumpy and itchy, then I'm like, what in the hell? And we have lumpies or itchies, no teeth, like gum mouth that moves flapping around. It is so awkward and hard to watch.
I don't like looking at him. At least Lumpy, he's a little one. He's kind of cute. He's all right. He looks like, you know, Cousin It a little, but...
Can I blow your minds? Okay, so let's just talk about the movie a little bit, I guess, because that's what we do, right? We're going to talk about this movie and we're going to talk it out. But,
we could try.
The movie starts off with a family of Wookiees that we find out is Chewbacca's family, right? Mala,
Mala,
Lumpy,
and Itchy.
Okay, so they don't have subtitles. Joe actually thought they had subtitles, but they do not.
I just remember them having subtitles. I don't know why.
You can't. They think it's fun.
It is not fucking fun. I don't like. That's like all they do. I'm like, dude, how are we supposed to know what's going on? And you know, the only reason we know what Chewbacca is saying is because Hanzo is there to fucking translate.
Yeah, it's always implied what they know, so they're always answering what they're saying from their noises.
Yeah, it's like a response with a kind of like a heads up of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking about food again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mala's constant head tilt and looking off into space like a complete and utter like Looney Tune. Like, is that her longing face? Is it her contemplating face?
It's the same face.
It's the same, and we don't know what's going on.
Well, to set up this a little bit, I guess what really happens here is that the Millennium Falcon is being chased by a garbage scout, some kind of garbage scout, Imperial something or other.
Our only hope now is to outrun that Imperial garbage scout, though. I'm going to light speed.
Yeah, and where are they though? If you know you're supposed to get back there, how fast? All right, so then the next question is, with that, how soon after Episode 4 that they blow up the Death Star is this happening now? But there's nothing to say with that. So wouldn't they already just go home?
That's true. I didn't even consider that they
wouldn't
already
he
blew up the
already
Death Star.
be there?
Yeah.
So at what point is this happening in between episode The New Hope and Empire Strikes Back?
If one thing we know is Chewie wants to get away from this family as much as possible.
Obviously.
I mean, I would too.
At the end of this movie, he doesn't have one thought about his family. He thinks about his friends that he fought with.
You know, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't be anxious to run home to that perverted father.
That's
he's
true.
A freaking perv.
I think what really happens is Art Carney moves in with the family at the end of this film.
Is that really? No.
No.
I don't think he moves in.
But he
was trying to get those Wookiee cookies.
Yeah, yes, he was.
Jesus Christ.
What's that I smell? Could it be some of those famous Wookiee Ookies?
He's not big on the food, but he's on those Wookiee cookies.
Mala's cookies?
Oh. Okay, so they're being chased, and so they can't get home for Life Day. Okay, that's the huge holiday in the Star Wars universe.
Okay, did they ever mention that in the movies?
In The Mandalorian, they brought it back.
Life Day. But the Mandalorian's...
Oh my god, I didn't even hear that.
Current, but
they not only did one reference to this holiday special in The Mandalorian, they mentioned Life Day multiple times, but Boba Fett actually has the weapon that he has in this movie.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, but nobody that's watching The Mandalorian has ever seen this shit.
When we were watching The Mandalorian, I said to you, holy shit, that's a reference. That gun is a reference to that movie, because I remember this animated film.
Oh, my God. I would have picked up on Life Day, but I don't recall that. But, so Chewbacca's...
No, go on.
I don't know what the fuck I'm about to say. I'm baffled by all of this.
Life Day, Joe.
Life Day. Okay, so it's Life Day, and the whole goal of Han is to get Chewie back home for Life Day to be with his family. But we go through this series of crazy shit And I don't understand what any of it's supposed to mean. So if you guys can help me.
Well, we got to remember, we do get to sit through at least 15 minutes straight of nothing but Wookiee noises.
That and then like strange videos, like strange
that keeps
clips.
coming on throughout the film, right? It doesn't start off right off the bat.
What is the meaning of it? The only thing that we know is the one video. That's the only thing I know for sure. That's mind-boggling.
What?
Only one?
Yeah, which one? Yeah.
The goddamn Diane Carroll one where
we're gonna get to that.
Old man is like having an orgasm, and this is a kids movie. I mean, it's gross.
Oh, the famous sequence, the famous sequence where the producer actually said that he intended this is softcore porn to see if it could get past the censors.
A fucking Star Wars
bingo
holiday special.
He pulled it off.
Are you kidding me? Okay, these people all need
They
to be
were all on
locked up.
drugs and they were joking around because they couldn't believe this was being made. They knew how horrible it was.
And they didn't look at their boss and say, "Dude, you suck."
Joe, you know how much money New Hope made?
I mean, then he comes
this
up
was
with
a
this
no-brainer
shit.
to make this.
Of course, because he did the licensing for the characters and all the action figures right after.
I mean,
New Hope.
I know
talking about
the merchandising.
what, Lucas in particular?
No, yeah, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did the merchandising. that was the whole point of it, to move it forward. It was just so popular.
Yeah.
He did all the merchandising, and of course, you're going to make all that money. So he wanted to keep it going. Obviously, he wanted to keep it going.
Yeah. He so much so that he rushed the lumpy and itchy action figures into production.
Okay, nobody wants
didn't know
those
about that
actors.
They
one.
ended up scrapping them
Yeah.
because the special was so bad.
Oh my
But
god.
they started making them. So, and an Art Carney.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
You know, what's his name? Sondan? Sondan. That's a big character in this movie who actually is Lando. Just take it in for a minute, guys, because this was almost Lando Calrissian. This is actually, the trader, the big trader. Like they supposed to be smuggling and helping people, and knows Han
he's a
Solo and
good-
everything like that.
He's a good
Yeah.
salesman.
At the last minute, they changed it, but he had this written. He was like, "Oh, I want Lando. This character's going to help them."
Oh my god.
So they just changed it, Lando, to Sean Dan.
Well, why do you have to drag in
Sondan.
Art Carney, and why do you have to drag in all these people? And it's strange people too. I mean, like,
Well, it does. The crazy part is that what I love is that Lucas is like, these things have to happen, right? And then he just walked away. So he went to film Empire.
Well, that's your first mistake right there too, because you're giving them a Bible of something, and you're saying just cut loose with it.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
I need these things. And then Bruce Valanche just grabbing cocaine and being like, well,
if you put him in there, he can't say anything. He's like, "Hey, boss, you said put it in."
yeah, seriously,
I put it in.
You could have still put these things in there that he wanted, but then like kind of altered them to make it a semi-decent movie. He would never even have known because he was off doing something else. So fuck him. You could have just made like done something, whatever, and like fixed it. He could have fixed it. I do blame Bruce Valanche for part of this shit.
How can you blame him though?
How can you blame him?
Because he could have done something to switch it out. He didn't have to consult with Lucas. He could have just been like, "All right, this is what we're going to do."
No, they
Fuck
have
him.
to. Lucas owned this.
Well, he was still going to be doing the same thing that he wanted him. Just put a little spin on it so it's less dumb.
That's the craziest part. You got to remember, this was ultra cheap. This was done on like no budget.
Well, they had to pay Mark Hamill and.
I don't know if they did.
After all these years, Lucasfilm is still saying, "Mark, I wish you wouldn't talk about that." I read it and I said, "This is awful. Why are we doing this?" I said, "I'm not doing this." So George says, "Look, it's just a way to keep the merchandising fresh in people's minds. It's really a favor to me for the merchandisers." Oh, right. But I'm not singing.
What do you mean?
I think they all just signed on. Well, I know for a fact that one person signed on just because she had I have to do this. You have to write me a song and I have to sing, and that's the only way I'll do it. So when you were talking about Carrie Fisher, just remember that.
Wait. So
You think
only
she said, "I want to sing in this movie."
is that she wants to sing. She wanted to sing.
Yes,
in
this was her idea.
Get the fuck.
They had to write that song in.
Oh my god.
I was wondering if you could talk about the filming of the Star Wars Christmas special.
I really don't remember except that song. I do. We celebrate our day of peace. This is a YouTube moment, isn't it? Of peace and harmony. That's all I really remember, except thinking, what is Art Carney doing with the Wookiees?
I don't feel sorry for nobody in this movie then. At first I did. I felt sorry.
There's no way. The only person I feel sorry for is Harrison Ford.
Oh my god, he's
the one that clearly does not want to be doing this.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, I mean, he said that multiple times about all the Star Wars films. He just hates doing them.
Well,
I don't know.
That's kind of upsetting.
He's like, you have to kill me in Force Awakens. I have to die.
Terrible.
So that's why he died in that movie.
This is an
People blame
iconic
Disney
character.
for it. He demanded that he get killed off.
How did I tell you? He doesn't give a rat's ass about
Is he
his fans.
that miserable?
Yes.
Wow.
His famous quote was, George, you can write this shit, but it doesn't mean I can speak it. Sell it. I can't sell this. So, I mean, come on.
Well,
I kind of agree with him, but he is amazing.
And at that
Han Solo is one of the reasons that these movies work so well.
Right, and at that point, if you're saying that and you delivered the lines the way that you did, you actually did it by mistake to become that great of a character.
Exactly, and because I think it really comes off of him, how he delivers the lines. It's like Indiana too, right?
Yeah, it's like the sarcasm, but at the same time, it's like there's an edge to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You gave it that.
Yes.
So you actually own that character by not owning it.
Yeah. But
it's
he's
crazy.
like, it makes me miserable. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that's terrible. That's an iconic character. Like,
it is.
You made so much fucking money off of it too. Like, that just pisses me off. Like, come on, dude. Like, there's so many people out there like that own their roles. That will own it. That they don't care if they're typecast or they're known for that thing.
Yeah.
We met a lot of people
Mark
at
Hamill.
conventions that are like, yeah, this is the freaking house that made me.
Yeah.
I am going to always treasure it. But meanwhile, he's an arrogant fucker, Harrison Ford.
He's not the only one, Joe, because famously, both R2-D2 and C-3PO, the actors that played them, I just blanked out. I know Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, I believe.
Yeah, Kenny Baker.
They, first off, hate it. And they talk crap all the time, but then they're mad when they're not included. Kenny Baker was not included in this movie. In fact, this is the one time, and this is odd, they didn't stick a man in the R2-D2 suit, which I've always thought was weird.
Yeah.
This time they just remote controlled him.
That is weird.
And both of those actors hate each other.
They do?
Anthony Daniels and Kevin Baker. So
why?
Wow.
They famous rivals, and because I mean, what I've heard is Anthony Daniels could be a real jerk.
Well, it all depends.
Depend on what?
Well, whether you invite his lordship, what's the one with the golden balls? What's his name?
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah. I won't know. If he comes, I won't be there.
And he's the one that admitted straight up, "Oh, it's a turd. Like I can't believe how bad it is." That suit's got to be so uncomfortable. I can imagine how hard it would have been. But on the other hand, Peter Mayhew, who plays Chewbacca, seems to have loved the role when he did it.
Yeah, that's crazy. It always blew my mind that Anthony Daniels was actually in the suit.
It's always blown my mind. Yeah,
it was like I found out later on, like that guy was actually in the suit. When you see the guy, he easily fits in there, but it has to be horrible.
Yeah, same thing with Kenny Baker. Like, how is he in there?
Yeah,
it's in that trash can.
No,
yeah, you're in a
speaking
trash
of
can. It has to
yeah.
have air conditioning in there or something because
I'm sure they had some sort of fan system in there.
Oh,
but
you gotta
like,
watch some of the behind the scenes. It looked terrible.
Like Peter Mayhew, that was a good point. You brought him up because that guy, he showed up at all the conventions. He was very, very loving and happy to meet his fans. He was so proud of that role as Chewbacca. He's a guy in a suit, and he was so proud to be in these movies. And then you got Harrison Ford, who's a freaking douche. And, he can't embrace, like, what an iconic role that was. I mean, you're fucking Han Solo.
Yeah.
Like, that just, like, gets me. I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
But...
Yeah, but you know what? Let's talk about the other actor.
Mark Hamill?
I feel like we have to get back on track on the movie here because we were talking about the actors in these suits. And so I guess we need to talk about how the wife in this movie, Mala, which her actual name, that's a short name, by the way. That's just a nickname. These are all nicknames.
Oh, okay.
They have actual names.
Well, I'm sure his name's not really Lumpy.
No, it's not. The wife's name is actually Mala Tupac.
Mala Tupac?
Mala Tupac.
I like it.
And it's played by a man.
Oh.
So every time...
Oh.
You see that creepy face?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's always interesting. The son's name is... Excuse me here, guys. Lumpa Wonka Rump? Lumpa Wonka Rump?
Lumpa Wonka... What?
Wow. Sounds like a character from Willy Wonka.
Are you joking?
Was
Say
it
it again.
Chumbawamba?
Yeah.
Say it again, Scotty. Say it
That
again.
sounds better.
Lumpa Wara Rump? Lumpa Wampa Rump? He wrote this shit.
I like Lumpy
when Harrison
better.
Ford said what he said, you gotta agree with him a little bit here.
Yeah, I guess I can.
So I'm
to
gonna
an
have to do the
extent.
father's name.
Okay, what's the father's name? He's the pervert.
Add a chunka chunk.
Yeah, the itchy part.
Add a
I
chunk
get-
a chunk?
The itchy part I can get out of that because of the chunky chunk, whatever. But
Oh
I mean,
my god.
But wow, where do you get itchy from that?
Wow.
I might be saying, add a chicken chunk. Add a chicken chunk.
Chicken chunks.
Oh my god.
I had a chicken chunk.
Itchy, add a chicken chunk. So itchy for short.
Yeah, I like itchy better.
Is the lumper rump? Is that the sauce he dipped it in?
It's killing me with the bass on it. Oh my god. They're from the Kapapuka tribe? I don't even need to be drunk for this at all, guys. I thought I had to be drunk. Oh my god. Yeah, and here's another great. God, it's like he just put a speaking spell and just like threw it against the wall and came up with these names. But in this movie, it's not sorry about that. In this movie, it's not Kashyyyk, which we know it as, the planet where the Wookiees are from, which we know it as in the prequels.
Right.
In this movie, they actually state the name of this planet is Kuzuki?
What? That sounds like the dessert you get at BJ's.
Yeah.
It's so good too. They get the ice cream on
Ice cream
top.
on top with a freaking cookie.
God,
So good.
Or the musical instrument, like the bigger version of the kazoo.
The Fred Flintstone alien that comes and haunts him all the time.
Oh my god. So we could talk about this shit the whole time. We don't even need to talk about plot.
You don't need to talk about anything because the
fucking plot
reality
anyway.
of the behind the scenes is so much better than the movie itself. It's so fucking crazy. And so I guess the plot of the movie, right, is that actor Art Carney, which we already mentioned him playing
From the Honeymooners.
Shaw Dan or something like that. Shaw Dan. They say it really quick a couple of times in the movie. Shaw Dan. It's like two words in the credits though. He is some kind of trader on Kazuki. And he is kind of defending the Wookiee family. And they are so worried about Chewie not being home in time that they are calling all of his friends and annoying them all. So we got to watch we got to watch these people who can't speak. We can only hear
All the moans and groans.
over and over, and them calling their friends and bothering them all. So we get the first one being Mark Hamill shows up as Luke Skywalker, and he's working on his ship with R2-D2. Now, I guess the thing to talk about here is the elephant in the room is that he famously got in a very, very bad accident and had his face scarred. And they had to smack on so much makeup onto his face after the plastic surgery.
That's right. He had reconstructive surgery.
Yes.
Right.
They stuck so much makeup on that he looks like a wax statue in the sequences.
It's a little off-putting, but
It
I
is so
feel bad for him though, because he had to undergo all that surgery and stuff.
Which is surprising because when you see him in Empire, it looks like his face is really messed up. But that's because they left all that in, right?
They left it in. They wrote it in as him when he gets smacked by the
Tauntaun.
Not the Tauntaun. There's like a monster in the cave.
Oh yeah, the Yeti thing.
Yeah. I cannot think of what that's called.
Just Grandpa.
It smacks him right in the face. So
like
they kind of wrote
Grandpa.
it in.
Itchy attacked him.
Yeah, Itchy. It looks like Itchy. It looks like
It's a Pazuki.
Yeah, Itchy was out on a ski trip on Hoth.
So Luke doesn't know where he is, and it is next level creepy, and I'm so glad as a kid I did not watch this movie before Empire.
I've never seen this movie as a kid.
I don't know anybody who has ever seen it live. It aired around the time, and this is crazy. Why I didn't see it? Well, of course I didn't see it. It only aired, and I wasn't born yet.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and also we didn't have. I mean, there's reruns.
No, this was never ever shown again.
That's it, just once.
One time.
Oh, that's why.
And at what point after Empire did they, or New Hope, did they do this one? Was it the same year? Because that was 77.
Yeah, 78.
So
it's exactly like a year.
So they did the holiday special. Did they do it around Christmas or did they?
November. Never. We just missed it. Life Day was on November. What was it? Last weekend. Yeah. Well, not last weekend, but when does? I have it saved in my phone, if you can believe it. November 17th
is Life Day.
Is Life Day.
Well, we didn't celebrate or anything.
So November 17th of 78.
We did celebrate. Don't you remember when we grabbed those balls?
Hey man, I'm not grabbing anybody's balls.
We transported to the land of undying, and then Carrie Fisher sang her song. I remember it all.
I mean, no.
It was only.
I must have been on a lot of cocaine.
So did this air in 77 or 78?
78. November 78.
So it was over a year after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Somewhere they probably filmed it right after, like a year after, and they just rushed it out.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It was a big rush job. It was a hot mess. Can we just talk about Grandpa?
So, let's get back to it because they call around Malatuki or whatever her name is. She calls around. Luke is like, "Oh, Mala, show me that smile." Oh, and we get this is the first example of when we get Mala's smile. It is creepy. It's not as creepy as Lumpy's face.
Oh,
okay. And Lumpy is just
played by an actress. The son is played by an actress.
The son Lumpy.
Yes.
Lumpy's not that bad. He's not as bad as Grandpa.
That face is on next level. That every time they show it, it is just creepy looking.
No, he's not as bad as Grandpa though. He's okay.
I guess Grandpa does look like the monster in the cave.
Yes, he
Empire.
does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I mean, it's bad. It's really bad.
It's bad.
I guess to represent him to be older, they give him no teeth. All of his teeth have fallen out.
Yes.
So it's like he's got the whole old man bottom lip covering up everything, and all of his hair has gone white.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how you know he's old.
Oh, it is.
Can we talk about Sendel? What's his name? Sendel?
Sendel?
Art Carney.
I have no idea.
Sondon.
Let's call him Sandal. All right, so Sandal.
Sandal. Okay.
He comes in with bearing gifts for Life Day.
Okay,
right?
yeah. So they call him, and he does some fake thing where he's like right next to a soldier. He's like telling him, no. And he's giving him hints. It's like he's coming solo. That rug is coming solo. It's like it was hand done. He's like all this stuff. And then he goes, "You get me?" So then
we get that look again from Mala.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Well, so the Empire's there at the house, right? Because they want to try and find
first. And he gives them all a gift. They all get a special gift. And then we kind of get the special gifts unwrapping, and before the soldiers come, each one of them, we see like Lumpy gets like what looks like a typewriter, but it's like in pieces, and he's got to put it together.
Right.
And then we see Mala gets, we don't know what it is for a while. It looks like a suitcase, and then
I thought it was a TV.
It turns out to be some kind of TV program thing. I don't really know what it is, but then Itchy gets what we can only say is a sex device, like a VR sex device.
Yeah, he brings him over a proton pack.
Yeah, a proton pack he has to slap in. A mind eraser or something like that?
Mind evaporator?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, it looks like one of those old-timey salon, like, hair dryers.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
He sticks his head under it, but then this happens after. And I'm like, okay, I lost my shit. I don't know what's happening here. But Diane Carroll, she shows up as like a sexual fantasy.
Yeah, his sexual fantasy. She says, "I am your sexual fantasy."
But she sings like this, like slow, soft.
By the way, we should say that she doesn't say sexual fantasy, but it is very.
No, she
implied.
does say fantasy.
I am
though.
your fantasy.
Oh, yes. I can feel my creation. I'm getting your message. Are you getting mine? Oh, we are excited, aren't we? Now, we can have a good time, can't we? I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I don't need to ask how you find me. You see, I am your fantasy. I am your experience. So experience me. I am your pleasure. So enjoy me together.
Like, it's so over the top, and then like you see Itchy like make this face like he has just exploded. It's fucking gross. And then they cut back to Diane Carroll, and she's like laying down on like a rug.
Well, she has a long dress.
Sprawled out, and she's singing like very sexy and sexual to him.
Do you have some of these words?
Oh my god!
Yeah, please read the lyrics. I can't even bring
I'm
myself to do
I'm
it.
not prepared for this.
Or should I do it in Diane Carroll voice? I don't even know if I have that ability.
I love that Itchy slams down on the controller a couple times when she says, I find you very adorable. And then he slams down and she repeats it over and over.
Yeah, like he's definitely having a good time with that.
Handle that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, so what do we got?
So we start out with, if we could only bend this minute, infinitely extend this minute, then I could live my whole life right now. Reality is sweet this minute. Can't we repeat and repeat this minute? Why can't it always be right now?
So hot.
I mean,
but Itchy's into it.
Itchy is super into it.
He's definitely into this.
And this is the verse that really just gets me. She sings, sharing with you this minute now. If I could just hold my breath and close my eyes and not make a sound, will the universe stop going round? Still the universe keeps going round and round, and on and on. A minute's almost gone. How can we ever lose this minute? I feel like I have taken drugs. Okay, drugs. I mean, my mouth was on the floor. This is my second viewing of this, and I completely blocked this scene out of my head.
I couldn't. This is the one that's stuck in my brain forever.
Why would Diane Carroll consent to do this scene? I mean, it is so disgusting. She's a sexual being to a fucking Wookiee. And not just a Wookiee, but one that's like a decaying, rotten old man.
Yeah.
It's gross. But
I wonder if she... I couldn't find... I don't know any information of what she thought after seeing this.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was completely ashamed, as was everyone else that had anything to do with this. I mean, there's no way. But she does have, like... I mean, she looks beautiful and she sounds good. But the lyrics to this song that she's singing to him, and he's having some sort of, like, orgasmic, explosion. I feel like this is a kid's movie?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, can you imagine? They actually intended this every year. We were supposed to get one of these.
You know what's really impressive to me? What's really impressive to me is that George Lucas put in Jar Jar Binks as like a way to like appeal to the kids, I guess.
Yep. He always said that these are kids' movies. You know, famously, kids love trade embargoes and stuff like that. It's a very fun thing. Senate meetings. Kids love that stuff.
Apparently, I did.
Just stick in Jar Jar Binks and you're cool.
First time I ever saw this was at a drive-in.
And you loved them.
And Darth Vader was my favorite.
Well, no, we're talking about the prequels.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about just the movies themselves. If we made it for kids.
Oh, see, I think the thing, and this is really important, and that's why I always love Empire and Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is got more kid-friendly stuff. Empire is super dark, and I think that's why I've always gravitated toward it as a kid and everything. It has so many cool things in it. But the cool thing about those movies is they never treated you like you were stupid.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the kid, like when I was a kid, that was the kind of movies you wanted to see, and I especially loved 2 and 3. But the prequels, I feel like they treat you like you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've always looked at them. Kind of like dumbing everything down or over-explaining or having characters just do things. And it's like, yeah, you don't like that bit? Well, we get a flashy bit. So we have like an entire pod race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about, yeah, he added in Jar Jar Binks. He's like, I got to wake the kids up.
Yeah, but this is a kid's movie. Like, I don't understand why you would put this sexual scene in the movie. Like, it's mind-boggling.
He didn't do it. I mean, this is them. They're obviously, and like I said, the guy actually admitted that he did this on purpose to see if he could pass it.
Yeah, but that's still going against what George Lucas wanted. That would be going against what George Lucas wanted. Do you think George Lucas wanted that sex scene?
But how do we know that? But how do we know that?
What do you mean?
Well, you just give them the thing. Again, you're just giving him something and tell him to go with it. You didn't tell him no? You had no executive decision over what they put into it?
Right, and that's what I'm talking about. Bruce Valanche could have easily changed whatever he wanted to in this movie and made it better without even George Lucas knowing. Because if they put in this like sexual scene.
Well, what I read was that specifically make whatever, but the theme has to be around this Wookiee family. They have to be Wookiees, and you have to follow these rules in this Bible of the Wookiee people. You know what I mean? The characters of the Wookiees.
So in the fucking
so
Wookiee
they gave
Bible?
them that Bible, and in the Bible they said, they don't speak. There's no subtitles. There's a family. These are the name of the family members. This is Chewie's family. Life Day is the holiday that they celebrate. That was the rules.
Okay, is one of the rules virtual sexuality? Because
my point is they wrote that crap in as like their FU on drugs.
No.
Yeah,
so it's like you're getting too into it. Like he had some say. No, he's like, do you follow these rules? The rest of it, I don't care, but make something good around that. First off, they said that thing that you're telling us that you have to make it about sucks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you have to do it or it's not happening. So they had to follow his rules, but then the rest of it was them saying, well, you put this on us, we're going to do whatever we want, so we're going to have the sex scene thing.
I mean, I just feel bad for anyone that has this on their resume. I mean, can you imagine trying to get a job after this?
All those some of the biggest people around.
Yeah, there was B. Arthur. She played a barmaid.
Well, we didn't. Well, I mean, those people I wasn't specifically talking about, but everybody behind the scenes.
Well, behind the scenes, yeah, but like it's still, you know, we know why B. Arthur did this. I mean, she doesn't give a shit.
Actually, she did this because her kids loved New Hope, so she wanted to be a part of it.
Oh, all right. Well, she couldn't have known what a sack of turds it's going to be.
She should have known when she got that song.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, what Joe is referring to.
She didn't read the script.
Yeah.
She'd been in acting for how long at that point?
Exactly.
That's
Come
true.
on. You would have known.
So what Joe's referring to here is that B. Arthur runs the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Where the same song just plays on a loop. What's the name of the band again?
Oh, I got that. I'm so
What's
glad
the
you
name of
asked.
the band?
Frigrin, Dan, and the Mortal Nodes.
All right. Well, they don't know how to play any other song. It's just played on a loop.
The reason I have
slow it down and give it chord changes.
Yes, they did.
That's all they do.
The reason I wrote that down is because the band almost died from heat exhaustion. The reason that there's a film, like a fuzz around this camera, is I think it was sweating. Because I think it was so hot, everybody in masks could not breathe.
Wow.
So they were all dying in the sequence, which I watched very closely this time.
I wonder, there was a couple that had the people that had their heads down on the table. I'm like, are they dead?
Are they dead?
Oh my
or
God.
hiding, trying to get their mouths out. On the
Oh my God. That's terrible. That's terrible. So, like, this whole entire plot, is basically Chewie just trying to get home, but we see Chewie the least of
Yes,
everybody.
yes.
It's basically about the silliness that happens in the Wookiee tree.
Yes, and they're in the Kazuki house, the Kazuki Wookiee family house. I don't know what their last name is. We don't know what the Chewbacca's last name is.
Wookanowski?
I like it. I'm going with it. It's canon.
Yep,
You just
why
made it
not?
canon.
Wookanowski.
Wookanowskis.
That's what we got.
So, what's Mala's actual name then?
Malabook.
Wukanowski.
Malatubuk.
Malatubuk Wukanowski. Did it.
Oh, fuck. So, okay. The thing we need to talk about here is that how everybody in the house keeps watching television, and that's their way around trying to stretch this thing out to an hour and a half. And by the way, what I said was I would have watched this because it aired around, I think, in the place of like in the Incredible Hulk, which I thought was later. So I guess I was watching repeats when I was a kid.
I guess. I thought. Well, I know I was watching the Incredible Hulk in the early '80s.
Okay.
So maybe I don't know how.
Did it start in the '70s?
It must have.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Can you imagine walking in and seeing some of this on television as a parent, being like, what? No.
You're going to sit down to watch the Incredible Hulk, and this is
and
what you
this
get.
Is on, and they're like, "Oh, cool, Star Wars. I like Star." Oh, wait a minute, what the hell is this? Jefferson Starship just showed up.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, can we talk about that scene? I don't understand. So the Empire shows up at the Wukanowski home, and he is waiting there to see if they know anything about where Chewbacca is.
Yeah, because this is famously Chewbacca's family. They know this. So
Right.
why don't they just blow them up or take them in?
And not to mention, they keep referencing there's an adult Wookiee not here. There's an
Yes.
adult, and it's like,
Right.
you know who it is.
Right. You know who it is. So one of the gifts that Sendar gives Wukanowski, what's her name again? Mala Wukanowski?
Don't make me say it anymore.
So one of the gifts that he gives her is like a TV, but it looks like a light bright. And so for some reason, the Empire guard sits down in front of this box.
Yeah, Art Carney's trying to distract them.
Yeah, so he
For
puts
what?
on Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship comes on, and the singer of Jefferson Starship is singing into a lightsaber dildo.
Well, first of all, what we get is a shadow shot of what looks like him about to stick a dildo in his mouth.
Yes, and I will put this online because I took a still shot of it.
And I will also say that this is definitely the inspiration for Spinal Tap, because this entire sequence, everybody looks like the characters in Spinal Tap.
Guitarist looks like Derek Small.
Yes,
he even
it
has the
is
same
insane.
mustache.
He has the neck color.
He has the neck color and the mustache,
the same
and
hair.
the same hair.
It's exactly what they were making fun of.
It's amazing.
I don't know how they saw this, but maybe Jefferson Starship was known for looking like this. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't remember them
think
ever
so.
looking like that. But
I think they just threw on those kind of like crazy intergalactic shiny pants because it's Star Wars.
maybe.
But yeah,
But we watched the entire thing. Like, there's an entire music video.
Right.
Of this band singing a
for
song,
what?
and they keep cutting to the guy watching it like he is sweating and he's so excited. He's like, his hands are grabbing things. So I kept thinking that Art Carney was using that device that he mentioned, which was some kind of a mind eraser of some sort.
He mentioned it about mind evaporator.
Evaporator.
For what?
why would you bring that to a Wookiee as a gift?
No, I think the mind evaporator thing? I
Yeah.
think they already had that. But he needed the proton pack to get his mind evaporated
Oh my
by
God,
Diane
Jesus.
Carroll.
It's me, Zondan. Hey, Itchy. I brought you that proton pack. You know, for the the thingamabob. The mind evaporator. That's it. The mind evaporator.
I mean, I don't think his mind was being evaporated. I thought some other
he
shit was going on there.
Oh, his balls.
His balls were being evaporated.
That's what I'm talking about. They evaporated.
I mean,
oh my God,
dude!
Holy
I
shit,
cannot.
guys! I can't even describe how nothing makes sense when they're watching things. Like, Mala goes and watches a cooking show where
Harvey Korman.
Harvey Korman doing 3 characters in this movie that are so bad. He must come on the cheap because he just does crazy shit in this movie, and they just film him, and none of it is Star Wars feeling.
No,
none of it is funny.
Yeah, this is crazy because I mean, this is the height of Carol Burnett.
Yes.
And he's like the star, him and Tim Conway.
Yeah, like Blazing Saddles had just come out, or will come out. I don't know.
I think it was around this time,
Yeah.
I think. I know it was around 78. But,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I can't believe it. Like, he's just, and he looks, I don't know if he's having a good time or he's just so blitzed. I can't even tell
I'm pretty
you.
sure he was on drugs too. I feel like everyone was on drugs in this movie.
By the time he got to his, third character, it literally looked like his face was just like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Yeah, and so the reason I brought this up is because it's this weird layer upon layer, like an Inception level conversation where somehow he taps into live cameras at the cantina, and then we watch the people at the cantina also watching on television the same thing that's happening on their television where the Empire is talking on it.
Yeah, that was, it went a couple of different layers there.
Yeah, we even cut to Darth Vader going, we have to find the Wookiee and all this stuff. Like, he doesn't play into it at all, but they're searching for Han Solo. And there's even seconds of Darth Vader in this movie. Like, you get all these different levels, and you're like, how are we tapping in? Is this not a TV show? Is this real life? Like, what is this? But we see all of the characters at the cantina that are in the first movie. So we know it is really happening, although I would say that one guy is totally Greedo, but he's not dead, so it's a little weird.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, okay.
But she ends up calling him something else.
Yeah, she told terrible fake names. Yeah.
I forget what it was, but let's think about this. So bringing back to what you were talking about, where they're watching inside this the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
They're on Kazuki. How far away is Tatooine from Kazuki?
That's what I was wondering.
I think it's Kazook.
Oh, it's Kazook, but it's
Kazook.
actually Kashyyyk is the actual planet that this is supposed to be.
Kashyyyk, yeah.
So how far away is Tatooine from Kashyyyk? Let's call it by its real name.
It's right around the corner, Jared.
It
Jesus.
literally is. It's a hop, skip, and a puddle jump. That's what it is.
12 parsecs away?
Well, but I mean, all right. So all right, well, all right. That's a whole nother thing in itself because
Yes.
I mean, Han and Chewie they hit light speed. Where did they go?
Yeah. Okay. So
you couldn't head towards Kashyyyk.
This is one of the odder
we gotta
moments.
get the hell
in the movie.
away.
One of the. I mean, it's hard to say one of the odder moments because the entire film is one odd, boring, weird thing after another. But one of the odder moments is that they actually escape, and Han and Chewie are coming back to the planet. And they say they're going to park on the far end of the planet, and they're going to walk. Which Chewie's like, and he's like, I know it's a long walk, buddy, but we'll get there soon. I'm so glad of Life Day. I love you. You're my brother. And that's like over and over we get that. But what happens next is really bizarre. We cut to a cartoon where I believe it's supposed to be what's happening on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, Lumpy turns on something else. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he has to watch again. What's his face? Corman. Is it what's his name?
Oh yeah, because
he has to watch him.
He's putting together what is typewriter looking thing, whatever it is,
and it's some kind of device that will beam into what's happening somewhere else. I have no idea how, but when he does it, it turns on a cartoon, and it's the whole like escapades of Han being captured, and they have to save him, and Luke shows up, and then Boba Fett shows up and pretends to be a good guy, and the art is insane. And it is the art from the cartoon show that was a short-lived Star Wars cartoon called Droids, which was like a spawn off of this.
It was terrible animation.
Yeah, and
it was just terrible. I took a couple pictures too. I'll post online, but damn.
It's weird. It's trippy.
Yeah,
it's
very
super trippy. Yeah, but I don't understand the sequence at all because it seems like it's what's happening.
Yeah,
but is it? Because they seem like they're on Tatooine.
Yeah. Well, when they're talking to Luke earlier, it was Luke and R2, And then later on, they show Leia's with C-3PO, but now they're all together. But then they end up, now they're out searching they split up again to go search for Han and Chewie. They end up on this planet. Somebody go into the red raspberry sea, whatever they do.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
what's going on.
And Boba Fett's riding a sea creature?
Yes.
So, and that's our first interjection to Boba Fett.
That's his first yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't understand. So they got together just to split up again, because they showed them in the cartoon that they were all together in one room. They were looking at Chewie, and Han was upside down.
Yeah, he was captured, and they had save him,
but he's
there's some
captured.
kind of gas.
He's captured inside the Millennium Falcon.
Upside down.
So did he fall asleep? And Chewie played a prank. And Chewie played a prank on him and hung him upside down.
Chewie I don't know that Boba Fett was a bad guy, but they had to team up with him because Boba Fett has some kind of chemical that could wake him out of the whatever gas them.
Oh, how convenient!
I know.
It's Chewie, but where's Han?
That's him hanging upside down.
I can't make radio contact.
He's on a collision course. Princess, we're in mortal danger from our own forces.
Falcon, do you copy?
This is madness.
You're right, General. I can't understand what Chewbacca's doing.
Whatever he's doing, there must be a reason.
Chewie wasn't
Glad we
affected.
found him.
Yeah, and it was just because Darth Vader was using Boba Fett to go undercover to trick them so they could find out where the rebel base was. And then they beat Boba Fett, and Boba Fett runs off and is like, I'll meet you again one day.
This was a
and
pitch
then,
meeting.
Yeah, right?
Oh, my God.
Right,
It is a pitch meeting. It is.
Oh, my God.
But then right after that, Itchy's or Lumpy is yay! Dad beat the Empire. But I'm like, wait a minute. Is this either a cartoon that someone made of the Rebel, Alliance? Someone's actually making cartoons on some kind of internet thing, and then he's watching that? Or is this supposed to be what's happening? They just animated it.
I feel like that's supposed to be what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's I'm like, wow.
Nothing, because Chewie and Han, there's nothing going on. You just see them in the ship. They need to be doing something. You know?
Chewie does stuff. He goes in with Boba Fett, and he shoots the thing, and
yeah.
stuff
But I mean,
happens,
I feel like
but
they
it's
needed more, so they just found a way to make it, well, I guess in their opinion, more interesting.
Yeah.
By animating.
I guess they couldn't afford to film scenes, so they
No.
animated it.
Yeah.
I would think.
I think it would be
more
cheaper.
though.
I think it would be cheaper because that animation was so janky.
It was like the Heavy Metal. Remember Heavy Metal?
Yeah, but that
The
was
movie?
that was a little bit better than this.
Yeah, because there's different artists doing different sequences.
Yeah.
This was probably a rush. I mean, they had no money.
Oh, yeah,
they probably
this
just
is-
rushed it out.
they
so
rushed
get
it
that
out.
animation done.
I mean, Luke's eyes in the animation were literally
Oh, yeah.
falling out of his skull. I think at one point they were melting out of his face.
I don't mind the animation as much as I've seen much, much worse. But I think it's wild. It's weird. It does feel strange, but I definitely think it's rushed.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely rushed. It looks terrible.
But yeah, all these, we keep seeing these things throughout the movie. I think there's, we said, there was a song, a couple different musical numbers, and all these things, and they just keep showing it until finally Chewie and Han show up.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite things because the Empire has been there destroying. I love they go into Itchy's room, or Lumpy, or whatever the hell his name is. Snuffleupagus. And they go into his room and they destroy his room. But I love that one guy just grabs his stuff. What was it? What's the name of the thing?
Oh, the bantha.
The bantha. He just rips its head off.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to
Your
this little
shit.
kid? This
Yeah,
poor
fuck
thing.
your couch.
It was just so. It's just not necessary.
Well, they all leave. They finally give up and they go clean your room, you little shit. All right? And then they all leave, but one stormtrooper stays behind. And then that's when Han and Chewie are at the door, and they just end up throwing this guy to his death. And everybody's like, "Yeah, that's fine. Let's move on."
Yeah, but what's amazing
Moving
to
on.
me is that the general's he comes on the screen and he's like, well, we have a stormtrooper that hasn't checked in. Have you seen him? And
He's like, "Check in." He's like calling on everybody's television set, "Call in."
yeah, but he's like, oh, we're going to send out a search party because they said that the stormtrooper took off He just
Well, yeah, Art
he
Carney
took
goes, I'll take care of this. And his way of taking care of it is to say, he ripped us off, stole all of our stuff, and went on the run.
Yeah, well, then
like,
he's like, I'm going to
really?
send out a search party. But why would you send out a search party for one stormtrooper? Stormtroopers are a dime a dozen. You can literally just, pick some dude off the street. And be like, hey.
I made a joke that what if he had a family? Like, how does he know who that guy was? What if it was a woman?
Stormtroopers don't have families. They're not allowed.
That's not true. That's not true, right?
I mean, don't they have to just...
not, unless you're thinking of the clones, but the clones should be all dead at this time. Yes.
Yeah,
they would all be dead.
But you think they have wife and kids, at home? The stormtroopers?
Yeah, like Finn.
No, they're all expendables. They're red shirts.
I don't think you sign up. I think you go home, you take your outfit off, and you go eat dinner and stuff with your family.
I think it's pretty much, it's
No.
almost like you're going to be part of the Rebel Alliance. You're going to be part of the Empire. If you're part of the Empire, you work your way up from a stormtrooper and move your way up. And he's like, you guys aren't feeding me enough.
These fuckers are eating rations.
Feed, yeah.
No, man, no. They don't have families. They're eating rations in a mess hall
I don't
together.
believe this.
And they all
you
sleep
think
in
they bunk?
bunks. Yeah, they have bunks.
No, see, the running joke is that when the rebels blew up the Death Star, they killed all these stormtroopers' families.
Well, okay.
I totally believe it.
I totally believe it.
Now they don't have families, so they don't have nothing to do.
Not to mention how many people, how much of the Empire is still around. If they were all on the Death Star, but some of the Star Destroyers still out there, because they're very far-reaching.
Okay,
at this
so
point.
this is an argument about all the Star Wars movies that I always laugh at. It's like they blew up the Death Star. It's like, yeah, there's like 100 planets, and every planet was occupied by the Empire. So every planet was like a whole bunch of Empire bases. So there's people at every station, at every base, and every moon, every star system. Like they all are filled with the Empire. Just by blowing up the Death Star doesn't mean everybody just dies. But I love that Lucas edited in this terrible thing where they just show you every planet cheering and pushing over statues. I'm like, the Empire's still there.
Huh, yeah.
Just because you kill the Emperor doesn't mean everybody gave up.
I just refuse to believe that stormtroopers had families. I just think that's so stupid.
Joe's
I
not
mean,
listening.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on the stormtrooper thing. Why do you think these clowns have families?
They're just normal soldiers.
Hi,
Why wouldn't
Daddy.
soldiers have families?
Welcome home, Daddy. Did you shoot anyone today?
Yeah.
No.
I
missed.
Oh.
We always miss.
Yeah.
I know. I just
missed today, Daddy.
They didn't have families.
It's so bad. Even
They
at
have
one point, the one stormtrooper that's here at Chewbacca's house, Chewbacca literally his gun is literally touching him, and he doesn't pull the trigger to shoot him. And that's when they push him. That's when they push him over the side.
Yes.
He breaks the he breaks the railing when he goes over the side, but then you see it later and it's completely fine.
Yes. And I love that.
I completely missed that.
Yeah, no, I said I pointed it out too. But I love when Han comes out of the door saying, "You know what, family? You're all my family. I love you so much. Happy Laugh Day. Okay, bye." And then he walks out the door and he goes, "Oh, there's a gun." And instead of taking it and keeping it, he just throws it over. So all I kept thinking was, whoever's on the surface
He threw it back
has
to
a body hit them and now a gun. And it's like maybe like Wookiee children playing with a gun down there.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh
There's
my
probably
god.
Wookiee.
We need
Wookiee
that
children
edit. We
playing
need that
with it.
edit.
Oh my god. Yeah. So then we get everybody gets their snow globe, and it's a light bulb in there, and they're wearing their robes, and they're doing their Life Day celebration.
They wear satin robes.
Ceremonial garb, and so they all go into outer space, into this cloud, like they're all ascending.
So I said it was the Undying Lands from Lord of the Rings, that they march into the Undying Lands, but it brings you to a tree, which is called the Tree of Life. And there, every one of Chewbacca's friends, none of the other Wookiees from Kazuki are there. But all of Chewie's friends are there, and Princess Leia shows up, the rebel, like the head princess of the rebellion, and she sings a song about Life Day.
This holiday is yours, but we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace. No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness. I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life.
To all of the Wookiee kind.
Now, I took a picture of what poor Harrison Ford's face looked like during this
He
scene.
is dead inside.
He is completely destroyed inside. He's questioning his life choices.
Yep. He's thinking about how he should have stayed at being like a carpenter. Yeah, I should have been a carpenter
Mark
still.
Hamill's happy to be there.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
Oh, yeah.
He seems all right. But I'll tell you what, for someone, she insisted on singing this god-awful song.
Can you imagine?
I don't know what was going through her mind at the time.
Do you think she showed her mother?
I mean, oh God.
Did she write the lyrics
think
too?
Debbie
No, I don't
Reynolds?
think so.
You think Debbie Reynolds is watching this?
Did
No?
she say, Mom, look it. This is going to be my big hit song.
She put it on if she wants her mom to leave.
That's what she said later on. She said she wanted
You
everybody to
ate
leave.
dinner.
Yep.
You ate dinner. You had a couple drinks. Now get out.
Yep. No, you're not leaving? Check this out.
Oh
You
my
like
God.
my song, Mom?
Yeah.
I think that's the end of this shit movie. I think that's it. As she sings her song and everyone's joyous and happy, and that's the end of this, right?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, basically, the we get a lot of hugs. They go back to Chewie's house, and I love that when Princess Leia is singing her song, Chewie thinks about all of the better things in his life than his own family.
Okay, but he's thinking of things that did not happen to him at all.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes it's not things that happen to him. It's
when
stuff
Mark
that happened to
Hamill
everybody else.
was training to be a Jedi with the ball,
Yeah.
Chewie wasn't present for that. So how
Yeah, he
was
was
he
present.
remembering?
Yeah, he's present. He was playing the chess.
They're playing space
Wasn't
chess.
he in? No, when he was training with the lightsaber.
No, he
wasn't
was
right
there,
there.
right next to him.
When really?
Yep.
When Obi-Wan was training him in that little.
They're in the Millennium Falcon during that scene.
Oh, were they? I thought they were in Uncle Owen's.
No, he
No.
never trains him until they get on the Falcon. They have to leave the planet.
Yeah, they're playing space chess. Him and 3PO are playing space chess.
Which he also remembers beating C-3PO.
Oh, okay.
And my favorite part of what he remembers is his friends getting medals and him not.
Yeah.
Poor, really, what the hell? He should have gotten a medal.
Yeah.
He was fine with it.
He was no.
I mean, I don't know if he was.
I don't think he was.
They
I feel
pause
like
on his face, which is like
the death stare.
Yeah, the death stare.
I
And I
mean-
kept thinking maybe he's just about to rip her up. Just like, you fucking asshole. I
I
should have
think
got a
that's
medal.
fucked up. I feel like he should have gotten a medal.
Yeah, he
because
did so much.
So much.
Yeah.
But like, she didn't like him. I don't think. Anyway, she
Yeah, she
called
called
him
him
a walking carpet.
And she's the only character, we should talk about this too. She's the only character that doesn't seem to understand the Wookiee language.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to understand it, and she keeps going. I love that C-3PO is like trying to explain. This is one part where C-3PO is like, "Ma'am, if I can talk to him," and then she just looks at him like, "Fucking C-3PO, you son of a bitch!" Right?
C-3PO is so arrogant.
And then and then she finally goes, "I think I understand." How?
You think?
How do you think you understand?
How does Luke understand them? I mean,
It's-
he's never met a Wookiee. I mean,
Maybe back on the farm, he was learning all the languages or something like that. I don't
yes, he didn't learn anything on the
I
farm.
don't know about that.
Is it a part of the Force that you just know every language?
No, then she would have it because she's Princess Leia. She's his sister.
Well, no, because
Okay, well that's good, but he didn't know that yet.
But she's still his sister, and she has the Force, so she would know.
But
she-
remember, that hasn't been written.
Yeah, and I don't think she even knows at that point that she even has it because it has to be trained. That's why he has to start training because of.
Yeah, well, we can
So-
get into that because that doesn't make any sense later on in the movies too. But,
Exactly.
But we know for a fact that Lucas didn't understand his own series at this point. Let's face facts. He
still
didn't know
doesn't.
that she had powers.
He sold it for like $4 billion, and he still doesn't understand it.
I think he intended for them to have a love triangle all along.
It makes
No doubt.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because you finally have to bring it up in Jedi that
They finally
reveal
hint
that.
at it. Yeah. Well, they hint at there's another at the end of Empire, right?
Yeah, right? At the end.
When he leaves, he runs to go help them, and Obi-Wan says, "He was our own. That boy is our only help." And Yoda says, "Nah, there is another."
Well, right, but I'm saying as far as to everybody else, like
Yeah,
like he says it to Han
at the end when it's finally mentioned.
Yeah,
because we don't know until that. We know there's another, but we don't know who it is until he says that, which
Right.
blows your mind. You're like, "That's my sister."
Oh, and they
that I made out with.
Yeah, he kissed on the rope swing.
It's like lumpy, itchy watching that.
All right. Well, so is this the worst movie ever made?
Are we done with the movie? Because I feel like we didn't talk about it enough.
Oh,
because
you know what?
There's a couple
much.
Yeah, there's a couple things I gotta ask too. Like, what can we explain what Life Day is?
Well, they can't say Christmas.
Why
or,
not?
Like Hanukkah or anything like that. It has to be like very generic, so they don't like offend anyone. So that's why I'm guessing Life Day is like
I think
universal.
it's like what the pagan holiday of like the Christmas tree. So I'm guessing it's about life and nature. So they say the tree of life.
Yeah, because they live in trees.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do live in trees, which has always been a thing with the Wookiees and when we see them.
I always thought I thought maybe I was like, man, it's a far stretch, but it's like, but if it's a Life Day, what if all Wookiees were all born on the same day?
Oh.
So and they all get together to celebrate somehow
Every
they're-
November.
Yeah,
Well, how would
somehow
that-
they're. I'm just saying. I mean, we're in a galaxy far, far away. You don't
True.
know what kind
You
of
don't know what it
mythical
is.
stuff that's going on. What if
Yeah.
they all are born on the same day, and that's why they're all there to celebrate their life?
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that one couple was banging every day and just like spitting out kids left and right on the same day of
This
the
could
year?
be Gremlins rules. We don't know how it works.
Yeah, we don't.
And
I mean, maybe they're told on a specific day this is when you got to do it, and on Life Day is when
Huh.
it's born.
It's like Pon
Oh,
Farr
you think they consummate on Life Day every year?
every year except the 7 years for Pon
And then
Farr.
it takes one full year, and then
It's a life cycle. Oh my God.
Did we just
Mind
create
blown.
something?
Yeah, mind blown. This is definitely canon now.
Oh yeah,
Oh man,
it sounds so much better than what we just watched.
It's true. True.
it does.
What do we forget? Like I mean, we didn't really talk about it scene by scene because this is an hour and 37-minute movie, which is so crazy. And with commercials, we were talking about. Can you imagine? Because I keep commercial breaking at weird moments. Like they look like they're about to shoot
Yeah,
the
Lumpy
sun. Yeah.
at one point.
And they go to commercial. I'm like, that would have traumatized.
He's just trying to put together his typewriter,
Yep.
you know, and the guy, stormtrooper comes in. Well, I mean, we know he's going to be safe anyway. He's not going to be able to hit him.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we have to worry, fellas.
The Star Wars Holiday Special will continue in a moment.
I just keep thinking, oh my God, it was like 2-hour event. And some poor bastards got this captured on VHS and saved it forever. I remember, like, I think, which is funny because I've never seen this version. If it does exist still, I don't know. But with some of the commercials, like, edited in, or where it aired, it was like a newscast because the South Park guys did a Christmas special. And they kept cutting to a news anchor, and he kept saying, fighting the Frizzies at 11, which was supposed to be a response to this special where they saw it, and the guy kept saying, fighting the Frizzies at 11. And so they kept doing that joke, and at the very end of the Christmas special on South Park, he actually fights a guy that's like, looks like snowflakes. He starts punching him at the end of the special with the credits going. So it was like, it was a reference to however they saw this holiday special.
Wow.
And I always wondered if it's out there anywhere what the South Park guys saw when they were making fun of it.
Yeah.
But that always makes me laugh because I think about it every time they cut to commercial break. I'm waiting for that joke. You know, fighting the Frizzies at 11. But yeah, I love that they're someone because the version we saw is almost like perfect looking.
Yeah, it looks good.
It actually doesn't look bad for a 78 Christmas special that never aired again.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all.
Which is, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, where were they able to rip that off of?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's almost like someone gave them the master tapes. I have no idea.
Yeah, but even then, you're talking back from the 70s, where how would they be able to get that onto anything?
I know.
You'd have to have some type of equipment to be able to do it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Which makes me laugh because there's a lot of TV shows that lost almost all of their seasons because like of fires or the master tapes weren't like saved well.
Right.
They were just thrown in a thing and they kind of disintegrated. But the Christmas special has made it this long is amazing. Just amazing that someone found this and was able to get a good copy. We can't even watch the uncut version of some of the Friday the 13th films because they all just went missing.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie is saved forever on the internet. It's just amazing to me.
Oh, man.
All right. So is this the worst movie ever made? I personally think, look, let's look at this list, right? Because we started doing the worst movies we've done on the podcast, but we didn't start from the very beginning. We started like midway, and we have some ones that we think are really bad. All right, in order so far is Dinosaur Island at number 1. Number 2 is Toxic Avenger 3. Number 3 is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Number 4 is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. And number 5 is Toxic Avenger 2. I would watch every one of those movies again with no problem before I want to watch this one again.
100%.
Wow, it's going to number 1, huh?
It is my number 1. When people say to me, what is one of the worst things I've ever seen? I go, have you seen the Christmas special for Star Wars? Like,
They usually say no.
There's not any fun to be had. It's mostly in shock
Yeah.
that you're watching this, and it is boring as shit. You can't even make fun of it.
Yeah,
because you're just sitting there going, "Wow,
It's
this is
mostly
happening."
surrounding around the Wookiees, and you don't even understand what the fuck they're saying. So it's like, why do
And
we
they're
care?
not interesting.
They're
No
not
characters are
interesting.
at all.
We're watching her cook.
Yeah,
We're
not
watching
funny.
him put
No.
together a stupid typewriter. We're watching the old man have a freaking fantasy with a virtual reality. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It really is. I think this is probably this has got to be the worst thing I've ever
Without a doubt, in my ever watching films, this is one of the worst things.
Yeah.
I think that's ever been produced.
Right.
Which always makes me mad when, and I feel like we don't talk. I don't think we talked about it enough, but I feel like Star Wars, the way that Star Wars is treated recently, gets me so angry because there's so many people online talking about Disney in this bad light. Like, oh my God, Disney ruined Star Wars. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but The Mandalorian, Andor, Rogue One, I know there's other ones. I think Force Awakens is great. I know a lot of people hate it.
I actually
think
like
it's a
it.
decent film. It looks great. There's some really cool stuff in there. It's pretty damn good stuff. And I don't know why everybody trashes it when this is the kind of shit we used to have for Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have easily done the Ewok Adventure movies on this podcast as well. They're also pretty bad. There's a couple animated things that were really bad back in the day when we were kids. I just kind of like, it shocks me that the Star Wars people are trashing it and they turn against it and they hate it so much when it could have been this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
could have been much worse.
To me, like, everything looks like gold. Like, everybody hates the Acolyte, right? The
Acolyte.
new Acula. Sorry, I just don't want. I want to say Dr. Acula every time I want to say it. But everybody hates that, and I watched it and it was fine. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. But again, when I've seen this, everything else looks great. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about you, Jared? Do you think this is one of the worst things you've ever seen?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff. And
Together.
Yes. And you guys have seen way more than I have. But at the same time, one of the things we talk about is, would we ever watch this again? After this, no, you don't need to watch it.
No.
You know, of course, we watched it. I think we did the math. It was like 7 years ago. I think we watched this.
Oh, wow.
6 or 7 years ago. So I was with Joe on a couple of things that you kind of wondered, you kind of forgot about, but some of these little off-cut scenes, I kind of remembered them.
Yes.
But it's like those are the things that really stand out about it because it really makes no sense to anything else, and that's the thing that you're actually kind of looking for.
I guess that's
it's
true,
like you're looking for something to break up the boring of this Wookiee home.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't do anything for what is going on.
It doesn't.
You would think any of these things that are going to happen are going to relate to Life Day, but they don't.
Yeah. Right.
It only pertains to the character that's actually watching it.
True.
And that's it. So at that point, what's going on?
Yeah.
So none of it even need to happen.
Yeah.
At all.
Did we need this? No. The world did not need this.
And let's face facts. I think every kid was probably, who did watch this, maybe was excited for it, was waiting for a lightsaber.
Well, we got one.
Okay, Okay, take it back.
We sure got one.
We got a dildo. I forgot about the dildo.
Oh my god, it's a freaking dildo. 100%.
I forgot all about it.
And
Oh,
Jefferson
man.
Starship should be like really mortified by this.
They
But
had to have been when they saw it. They should have been like, that looks really bad.
I mean, I hope it was a good payday for them at least.
You know what was really, and I feel bad for them because they were probably like, oh, Star Wars is so huge. We're going to be a huge band. Everybody's going to know about us. And then they did this movie and they were like, oh, shit.
But they were already kind of big at this time anyway. So
They
what did
were,
you?
yeah.
But I mean, they would have, they're not the Rolling Stones, but I'm sure that they probably wanted that. You know what I mean? Like, this will maybe catapult us into that.
I'm sure they were, very excited to be asked to do this.
They've
and then
been
they
around for a
realized it was like-
while at that point.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
still,
Yeah.
You're thinking it's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
I guess.
Part
I
of
guess
Star
'cause
Wars,
it-
the biggest movie ever made at
Was
the
it-
point.
Yeah, because they were still Jefferson. Were they Jefferson Airplane at that point? Still?
Yeah, they were Jefferson Starship. That's what they were listed as.
No, I mean, like, how long before that were they Jefferson Airplane?
Well, weren't they at Woodstock?
In the 60s, yeah. They were Jefferson
Airplane. So then it makes sense. Then that makes sense why they're there, just because of their name. Then.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
you're
it.
probably right about that too.
So-
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And that's it. You get paid for your name.
Yeah, pretty
And-
much.
Wow.
Well, that brings us to our segment of why we can't have nice things. Where
I don't even know how you're gonna do this one. I can't wait.
where I read out two extremes of online reviews, one 10-star, one 1-star,
get
as
through that?
proof that people can't fucking review movies, okay? Anyway. All right, a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. This is the only one that was there, so I had no choice.
Okay.
Well, okay, excuse me, hold on. This is the only one that was there that was not a joke. There were a bunch of 10s, okay, a bunch. But this is the only one that didn't seem jokey to me.
Okay.
It's not great, but that's the caption. This movie actually is quite bad. A quarter of it is just unintelligible Wookiee growling, literally. Plus, the only way I have seen it is in a downloaded 1-inch by 1-inch version. However,
Wow.
considering it was made in 1978, right after Star Wars, with no background info and very low budget, I've got to give it some credit. All the original cast members are in it, and the costumes and special effects are basically just reused props from the first movie, and the plot, while being the basic Christmas movie plot, is improved by the fact that it's Star Wars.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, that's the only one I found that was remotely not, just being jokey and ridiculous.
What
'Cause
was the rating on that?
a 10 out of 10. What the fuck? And there are a lot of 10s, mind you, okay? A lot. So, yeah, but I mean, honestly, you can't say...
It was made better because it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
That's the kind of shit I can't stand, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
That's
can't.
the one. Those are the ones that are on that hill, and then
my God.
and he starts out, start out by saying this movie is actually quite bad. So why are you giving it a 10, you dickhead?
What's a person's name?
Mastadge. Mastadge.
I think it's a Wookiee.
Yeah.
It's a
Mastadge
Wookiee.
Wookienowski.
Fucking.
I
I think
mean-
that's Lumpy's real name.
When was that written, though? How long ago?
Does it have the date on that?
Yeah, let me see. 1999.
Oh,
wow.
1999.
Oh,
wow.
all right, buddy. All right, Mastadge Wukanowski, go back and watch it again.
Yeah. I guarantee he's one of the
See
people.
if you feel the same way.
He's one of the people who Disney sucks now. Star Wars sucks now.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Well, so it was 99. So did he watch The Phantom Menace before or after this?
I'm sure
If that
he
was
a fan.
90.
If I had to guess, Phantom Menace was like his first, and then he was like, "Oh, it's Star Wars. It doesn't matter. Everything's great." Because why would they be like that?
Yeah,
like
that
we
makes
grew
no
up with
sense.
Star Wars, and I'm not
Yeah.
like that.
No.
I love Star Wars too. Like that's the thing that sucks.
I'm not deep into it, but I like the franchise. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff out there I still haven't seen, but still, I mean, I'm not going to watch this again. I mean, of course we watch trash.
Yes.
So of course I'm willing to do it. But
Yeah.
if someone had to tell me I had to watch this again, you'd have to pay me to do it.
I know. That's why I'm like,
almost.
I think people were like, "Oh my God, Solo was terrible," and I'm like, Solo is like, great.
I thought it was fun.
I don't like it's so good comparatively, like to some of the shit we've seen.
Like
I
you
don't
mentioned,
know.
You mentioned Rogue One. You keep seeing people saying that they don't like Rogue One. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good in between.
It's so wild. It's so wild. Sorry, hon. What was the one?
No, I mean, there's so many ones. It was hard to choose.
Did I write it?
Or did you?
Yeah.
No, so I'm just going to go with this one. This was 1 out of 10 for die-hard Star Wars fans only.
Oh, no, not even them.
I know. I was 11 years old when I first saw this, and I seem to recall liking it. What goes on in the head of an 11-year-old anyway? I seem to remember some dumb musical numbers they could have done without, but having a fully cool animated cartoon segment. But I wondered the next Christmas why it wasn't shown again, like every other holiday specials were. Then recently I obtained a video copy of it, and now I know why it was never shown again. This is so bad. Obviously made for TV quality, featuring the Star Wars cast, is interspersed with dubbed over clips from the movie. I can't. Creepy musical numbers, including one by Jefferson Starship, are added for some reason. Stretch the time out, and I guess this really lame story of the Chewbacca's family, awaiting his return for Life Day, some sort of universal holiday in the Star Wars galaxy. Chewie's son, a little Wookiee brat, is a prequel to the Ewoks, and his father is a Wookiee perv who checks out Homo sapien chicks and his virtual reality cyber sex thing way before its time. All in all, this just drips of cheese, but I still kind of like the animated segment. Reminded me of the later Droids cartoon.
Yeah, which was, yeah.
Right, so that was a 1. So it seemed like he had something that he liked about it.
And I knew that cartoon was going to be a big deal. Because a lot of people loved it. Yeah, that cartoon was the one highlight a lot of people came out with.
I never saw
Wow,
that.
I never even saw it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Because I remember when the Droids cartoon is beloved enough to be on DVD and stuff like that. So I knew that that was the thing that a lot of people took from this and said, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Because what else could you take?
I mean...
Yeah, I don't know.
If you had to praise one thing, if you were forced to praise one thing about this movie, guys, what would you praise?
Oh my God.
You're forced. You have to
Forced
pick one
to?
So
positive.
the one thing I figured it out, because I made this comment. So one of the scenes is they get called away. The Imperial forces or whatever that are there get called away.
Yeah.
It turns out that it's Lumpy with his typewriter machine somehow was able to transmit some signal to the wall screen, as they put it.
Yeah.
That the general that comes up tells them, "Oh, you guys can leave, but just leave one of them there." I mean, but it's like they're sending a distress signal to tell them to basically leave, and then we find out that it's actually Lumpy sending the thing.
Okay.
So that's the smartest thing that's happened in this thing.
I was like, okay, I can't wait to see where this goes with what your favorite part of the smart was.
But that's the smartest thing about
You're
it.
like,
He
you know what?
actually
That was smart.
gets them called away.
All right.
That's it.
I like it.
That's the only thing I can say. Go ahead, your turn.
Joe?
I mean, I have to say that I got a little sad when little Lumpy went upstairs and found his room all disheveled, and he put his banthan or whatever back together that they ripped apart, and he put it under his bed sheets.
We didn't mention that he buried it like on this.
He tucked it in. He tucked it in and kissed it goodnight, like it was hurt, and that made me sad. And it was the only thing I felt in this entire thing besides complete horror. So yeah, that scene, I liked it. It made me sad. Yeah.
I liked when B. Arthur poured a drink into what's his face?
Harvey Korman.
So Harvey Korman had this wig on that somehow was like his drinking apparatus. I don't know what kind of like alien he was supposed to be, but he had like a hole, like a volcano hole in his hair.
I was just like, what
covering
is
his
happening? There's something visually bizarre about this that I can't get enough of.
I thought he was going to get excited and it was going to be a pervy moment that erupted.
I was thinking that too.
Right? Because he liked her. He had a crush on B. Arthur.
He had a crush. He grabbed her behind the.
Yeah,
he went
he
behind the
did.
bar and grabbed her.
It was very rapey.
Yes,
There's
it
a
was
couple of
very
rapey
bad.
moments in this movie.
I also like that he had six words and he put his hand up and he had 6 fingers.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I don't know what it is about this. This make me
It
laugh
was
a little
weird.
bit.
I swear to
but
God,
it
I
is
was
bizarre.
like, I thought that it was gonna erupt. I thought that she was gonna pour it in, he was gonna get excited, and that was gonna be like his excited moment where it was just gonna sprout out. Because why else would you have a hole in your hair like
Careful now.
that? I mean, come on, this is not a kids movie. This is like softcore porn. It's ridiculous.
We already got a couple of those scenes tonight, so
It's just
Yeah,
so
that's
bad.
true.
This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. I have literally seen trash. We've seen a lot of trash.
Just rewatching. What I was loving is that we weren't drinking, which probably would have helped
I don't
making us
know.
laugh.
I don't know. I don't know if it would have.
I don't think you could have.
No, I think it would
I feel
have
like
put
the
me
first
out.
time we did, we were drunk.
I think we might have been drunk. That's probably why I don't remember shit.
And probably. And I was going to say that while we were watching it again, I was like looking around the room going, we're just silent. Like we're just sitting there
Yeah.
staring at it. Like, why?
I think I think what we were laughing at when we first watched it were those little scenes that we got. Like there was a dance scene in the beginning that Lumpy's like. Then that's the other thing too. Some of these things are only like, are they just like one shots with their stuff because they have the space chest thing in there.
Yeah.
And Lumpy was watching some dance thing that we saw.
I forgot about that.
I mean, are we even? Is that all it's good for? I thought it was good for Space Chess, but we're going to watch a space dance on
Right.
it?
Like, but why do we need to watch it? It was like the solid gold dancers back in the 80s.
Like Cirque du Soleil.
They went Cirque du Soleil on acid. It was so off-putting and weird. Like, they had these weird costumes, and they were doing acrobatics, and they all had, like, one boot was different than the other boot. Did you notice that? They all had two different shoes on and like these weird headpieces, and it was creepy. It was
It's
a
like
creepy thing.
he's never seen TV before, but then the whole movie is them watching TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not entertained by anything. This is the first time he's seen this, like, Cirque du Soleil.
He was really
in virtual
excited about it.
reality.
He was like clapping and
and
super excited.
I find that hard to believe. Or is this where all the games happen? Is like, do you not just play the games? You watch all this other stuff happen too? Is it like their Atari?
It's their Switch.
It's like everything's like a one use. Like even
so
the Jefferson,
bad.
even the Jefferson Starship thing. Is that all that it's good for? We're gonna watch the same Jefferson Starship video again?
Yeah.
Is that what the guy's going? Art Carney's like, I've seen this 1,000 times, but this guy hasn't. Let me put it on for him.
Yeah. It was so weird.
There's so many questions that all of that. I mean, it's like the one screen. Every time they turned a screen on, it was only to like 2 or 3 different places, but they were all able to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they had some technology in them trees. You know?
That's
true.
They have outlets and
That's
plugs
one strong
and shit.
proton pack.
Yeah.
Sure. Itchy didn't use up all the energy on it.
Typewriter.
Oh, gross.
God.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I think I'm glad we're ending the year with topping the list because this whole year has been like the worst movies. I think the only one not from this year was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So
that
I'm
movie.
like, I'm just laughing that I don't know what we can find next year,
Oh.
but I
Challenge.
can't even, I can't imagine it. Like, what could be worse? I mean, like, and I think that the other thing about why this is so bad to me is that it's one of the hottest properties. It's so easy to make a special. It would be so easily. You have all. What time have you ever seen a special and they got all the cast back? The
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is Guardians of the Galaxy did it recently.
Mm-hmm.
They got the entire cast back. Hugest movie of the summer, the year before, and they got the whole cast to do a special, and they don't use any of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what a letdown on every front. So it's even more worse. You know, it's like it makes it's more terrible. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but that's why I'm like, I can't imagine what else we could watch.
I mean, there's got to be some more trash out there. There's trash everywhere, but I don't know if anything is ever going to top this. I mean, right now, I would say that this is number one worst thing I've ever seen.
All those other ones I named, I would watch again without a problem.
So what was the first? What's number one on your list? Well, other than this one, what was
It
number
was
one?
Dinosaur Island,
And
which is a softcore porno.
okay.
Yeah, I mean that thing knocked out Mortal Kombat Annihilation out of the first spot, and I gotta tell you, I didn't think anything was gonna knock Mortal Kombat out I hate that movie with a burning passion. The only thing I think I hate more than that is Showgirls. I think Showgirls is the biggest piece of shit
It's
I have
number
ever
8.
seen.
It's number 8.
I can't. I hated it. I think when we did that podcast, I was so infuriated. I think that my knees were on fire.
So how long was Dinosaur Island number 1? For how long?
We did it in the Roger Corman month. So what was that, March?
April, I think. Because
April,
that was,
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so it's for a while, yeah.
Been a while.
I mean, so the countdown starts now with this one.
I know, yeah. So next year going forward, it's and I especially love Christmas of next year, because then I'll have to find something else. Like I thought the Christmas tree, which is the movie that I was so excited about doing, the Christmas tree never even stayed on the top because we found something fun about it. It is terrible.
We're going to put you through that. I think we need to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you just have to see it to believe it.
I think everybody should see it once.
There is one movie I threatened to put on a couple times, but you guys talked me out of it.
Uh-oh. What is it?
It's a Christmas movie.
Tell me. What is it?
It's the Kirk Cameron Christmas one.
Oh, that's right.
That very well might give
yes,
this.
That's true. That might actually. That would be a tough one to talk about.
I don't know.
Oh,
I will have to be on some.
We might have to be drunk on that one, or at least a little tipsy, because that thing is really preachy, from what I understand.
Exactly.
I can't handle that shit. I will probably have to take a lot of beer into that journey. A lot of beer on that journey.
Well,
I threatened to put it on twice.
I've been thinking about it for so long. That's always been on my list.
Dang.
All right, though. Any parting thoughts on this movie before we get out of here?
Yes, I have one.
Sure.
I would really like for George Lucas to own up to this and not declare, "Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it."
Yeah, this is the thing. I could talk about George Lucas forever. I probably shouldn't, but I know it pisses everybody off.
I don't care.
But yeah, we learned this about Howard the Duck too.
Yeah.
Well, while watching that movie, reading into it, you don't want to know about your heroes. You know what I mean, or the people that you think, because a lot of people got these people where they are now, and there's so many more talented people around him that I think that he just really lucked into this business. And I'm like, I agree with you. Own up to your disasters.
Yeah, because you put these people, their careers in jeopardy. They put their careers on the line for you, and you're just going to throw up your hands and say, I wish that I can burn all these copies of this movie. No, dude. Say, that's something that I did. Actually, own up to the fact that you put all of these careers on the line for your bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And your arrogance
completely.
would not allow you, your sheer arrogance would not allow you to make any changes or welcome any kind of artistic input or anything from anyone else, because you're an egomaniac. And then you have the audacity to throw your hands up and say, I don't like this movie, this piece of crap, I want to erase it from existence. Well, guess what? Those actors and that crew can't erase it from their existence. So why should you be able to? So fuck you.
It's not erased from his existence. He knows it's out there.
Yeah, and he's mad about it. He so desperately tried, but
which makes it even more the reason why you need to own up to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the more you want to put it down, the more it's going to make people see it. And even if you own up to it, it's still going to make people want to see it.
Yes.
So regardless, you're fighting a losing battle.
And the reason I think that it probably has stayed around as long as it has is because he's trying to erase it. You only push things into, staying around for as long as they are because of stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, absolutely. All right, Jared, anything?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I think we said I think we said all we can say about this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wait, we could probably get into a little bit more, but I don't think it really makes any difference.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it really does.
Well, we'll have you on again for the next piece of shit, and we have to try and outdo ourselves.
Yeah, you're already joining us into next month. Next year, actually, too. So that's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be doing some more movies.
I cannot wait.
All right, so everybody, thank you for listening as always. Happy holidays, happy New Year. We'll see you into next year, and hit us on social media. Instagram, Crafty Misfit, Just Another Movie Night. Tell us how much you love George Lucas and how we're wrong. I would love to hear about it.
Blow it out your ass. No, I'm just kidding. A Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah.
And may Life Day be with you forever.
And thanks for supporting us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.
Just one more dance.
the end, friend. If you're a friend, then you'll come back to me soon. But it's too late, pal, to celebrate, pal. You'll have to wait, pal. Don't you cry. Now it's good night, friend. Good night, friend. Good night, friend.